Hi everyone and welcome back to another video with me Shruti Vashist from enlightenmentcourses.com. So today I thought that I would make a video on the eclipse energy and how to integrate it for those souls that are on the path of ascension, that are on the path of service on the planet. So of course you have many astrologers with their predictions for the different astrological alignments, including eclipses. But on this channel, we focus a little bit more on, we go a bit deeper into the path of service. So it's not so much about astrology, it's just using a bit of astrology, but talking about what is happening for those souls that are on the path of ascension and self-mastery and living a path of service. So if you'd like to hear more about the eclipse and what you're activating, and I'll give you one of my examples what's been happening, then please stay tuned and subscribe to this channel if you are new here, if you'd like to get more updates like this one. And check out enlightenmentcourses.com for all kinds of personal services with me, for courses on self-mastery as well. Okay, so let's get started. So this eclipse, the one we just had in the month of March and the one that's coming up on 8th April, are both in the axis of Aries and Libra. Sorry, I'm just using a handheld stick. So the camera is moving a little bit. So as I was saying, that it's happening in the axis of Aries and Libra. And for those of you that may or may not know, Aries is about self, like the willpower of the self. And Libra is about how we accommodate with others, how we fit in with others. That's my cat in the background. His name's Lyra. So Aries, so actually I am both an Aries as well as a Libra. My sun is in Libra and my moon is in Aries. So I've been feeling this eclipse really strongly, and this whole eclipse cycle. So I thought that this video would be helpful, as what's happening collectively is basically those people who are Aries and Libra would be going through sort of what the collective consciousness is going through. Okay, so basically this axis, regardless of whether the eclipse is in Aries or in Libra, because we have different eclipses across this axis, right, along this axis. So regardless of which one it's in, because it's always an axis, the sign and its opposite Libra and its opposite sign Aries, and Aries and its opposite sign Libra. So regardless, it's always going to be about balancing what is moving through you. So you have to balance both these things. The first is that if people are putting pressure on you, regarding something, and they might be giving you clues, like if you're getting triggered and you feel that it's not the right thing, then it's giving you clues into what it is that you haven't fully empowered yet. So that's the Aries side, empowerment, being independent. So wherever you haven't fully claimed that Aries side of you, the Libra side, the relationship side, will be showing you where you need to do that. So people may be saying things, and it doesn't have to be personal relationships. It can be with people in your community who live with you, people at work. It can be your close people, your spouse, doesn't matter really. But they are basically showing you what it is that you need to empower within you, and this empowerment is leading to the purpose for now. So as you know, that we have this life direction, this main purpose in life, all of us do, but that changes and that becomes more specific for every year and every actually every day there's a little purpose that is in line with that larger purpose. So every year and within every eclipse cycle, every 6 months even, it becomes something a bit more specific. Sorry for the noises in the background. We're in our the second house of ours, so it's sort of a more open space. But our purpose, our exact purpose, is landing this way for now. where people may be triggering us, and they are showing us, and everything that they're saying may not be right, but at the same time, they're showing you what it is that you haven't fully empowered within yourself. So maybe you need more knowledge there, you need to gather more knowledge, or you need to take certain actions and experiment and see what's right. You need to take some sort of action, basically, where there hasn't been enough action, or there wasn't a need for enough action until now, but that's being accelerated now in your life. So if you're being triggered by people, then that's showing you exactly in which direction your purpose for the now lies, especially for your service. Because when it comes to our service, the universe, or spirit, pushes us in directions that we haven't ventured before, we haven't dared go, or we haven't thought to explore. We didn't think were our talents, etc., or we didn't think we could be empowered in them. But this is how it lands, really. It's not this big revelation that always comes. It's through these life events, through our interactions with other people, and all kinds of different ways in which our purpose lands, not just some big aha moment all the time. So during this eclipse, it's happening through other people. So I'll give you a quick example. In my community, there have been a lot of cats. So no wonder my cat came up in this video, even though that wasn't planned. But this is my cat Lyra that we rescued 2 years ago. He's 2 years old. And his sister, who is a street cat, and the children that she's had, the litter that she gave birth to, there's like 2 litters she's had so far. And when I picked up Lyra 2 years ago, this was the whole concept of animals and dealing with them was absolutely new to me. We weren't planning on getting a pet or anything like that. So since then, this problem in our community has accelerated of cats, because how they are, like they give birth, and so many cats are born all at once, and they just grow so fast. So but it was still fine, because I would feed the street cats and I'd feed them good quality food and this and that. But and I'd always had this at the back of my mind that we need to do something about it. We need to get them spayed, neutered, and all of that. But I hadn't taken any action so far, because there's so many other things I've been involved in, and it's hard to do it as a person, like the only person who wants to do that, and you don't really find others to help you as such. Just their trapping and taking them and paying for it, and because it's expensive. So anyway, there have been people in my community who, even though I've been the only one pretty much who's been helping out these cats by feeding them, and they sort of start to look at you as somebody who's creating the problem, because you're feeding them, so you're keeping them alive, and then they give birth to more, and they expect you to basically take care of the whole problem, which is very difficult as a person who's doing it by themselves, and it's a whole community. And the whole problem began before my involvement with cats in the first place. In fact, that's why this cat also, my cat Lyra, got into a car accident. There's just so many cats. So then we picked him up and got him treated and all of that. Anyway, so there's this person in my street who lives close to me. I hadn't really interacted with her before, but long story short, she just sort of was very rude to me about how basically trying to convey to me that it's your responsibility, you have to take care of the cats, and otherwise she was just picking them up. This new litter of kittens was born, and we never had problems with dogs in our community because there weren't any dogs nearby. But lately they've very recently during this eclipse they've started coming, and I think they basically killed one of the little kittens, one of the babies that was born, and another one was injured. And that one was taken care of by this lady that I'm speaking about. But she basically blasted me for not having done enough, etc. So initially I was angry, because I was like, it's not my responsibility solely, right? I mean, I'm already doing a lot by there's a huge chunk of my salary that goes in feeding so many of these street cats. and I've taken the responsibility to do that and give them good quality food and meat, which is what they need, even though I'm vegan, and it's a whole thing. But that's what their food is, and that's what they thrive in. So however, I began to see a point in what she was saying, even though I don't like the way she was speaking to me, or some of the things she was saying had this she had this god complex, and she was trying to guilt me into stuff, she's trying to make me do stuff and not take any responsibility, or understand that the responsibility is greater. But I took this sort of what is this teaching me, what is the message for me? And the message for me was this, that because when she started to just pick them up and send them off to anybody who would adopt them, and not necessarily people who would feed them good food, or cats need meat to survive, and a lot of people in India are vegetarians, or if they come from a certain background, because she was giving them off to people who help her, like her help, and they don't necessarily have the affordability to give them meat. So I began to see that I sort of and there's different purposes with which people pick up cats. Sometimes people do it just so that the smell of the cat wards, like rats and mice are not attracted to that place because they can smell the smell of a cat there. But that doesn't mean necessarily that the cat is taken care of by the people who have kept the cat there. So I was worried for these cats, because I feed them, and there's this bond that's there now. But at the same time, there's just so many that I can't afford on my own to get all of them taken care of, and also vaccinated and spayed and neutered, all of that. And also find them homes after that for adoptions. So this is such a big project, and I never thought that this is something I can do by myself. And even now, I don't know everything, but I've started figuring it out. I've started speaking to people. I'm starting to think of ways to raise funds for this as well. By the way, speaking of which, if any of my viewers would like to contribute, even a little bit, if in these months, especially this month and next month, the month of April, May, if you are buying any of my services, March, April, May, you buy any of my services, that money that you buy, that you spend, will go in the treatment of these cats. So please do consider it. Please also consider donations if there is no service that you want as such. And for donations, you will have to, through my website, send me an email saying what invoice you'd like me to create, because there isn't a donation button available through PayPal for India. So you will have to send me, I'll have to send you the invoice for that particular amount, and then you can pay. Or you can buy one of my services and just tell me that you don't want that service. But whatever it is. So please do help out if you can. It would be such a big thing. And by the way, I associate myself with the constellation of Lyra, which is known for cat souls and cat consciousness. So I think that's why, even though I wasn't looking for any cats in my life, this one came into my life, and then this whole bigger responsibility has come. So I began to see through these accusations that were coming at me from my community, even though, I didn't understand why, because I was the only one helping, and none of them are doing anything. Like, they've just left cats there to die, basically. And, I picked them up, this guy who was on his deathbed, basically. So I began to see that if because I care for them and I want them to be spayed and neutered and taken care of properly, and not just through any random person who doesn't charge much, and then people just send them there to make themselves feel better. So that I need to take this larger responsibility. This is part of my purpose, and I never imagined that it was. So this is an example of how we are coming into our purpose, and we may not have all the answers, but it's about at least starting with it. Okay guys, I've just come to this other room because that room was getting a bit noisier. By the way, behind me is this little altar that I'd created long ago. We don't live in this house, and so I think this is another example of what I was talking about. Maybe that's why I was guided to come into this room. This is a wand that I made really long ago. You can see that's a crystal. It's got a rainbow inside of it, and it was my purity wand when I was coming into a certain level of my ascension, because the soul self, actually, the seventh dimensional self, that's associated with this rainbow and this white energy, and moving beyond ego. Then there's this other one that I created as well, which is associated with actually Libra energy, which is about this divine union of our polarities and the masculine and feminine. So yeah, this is a house we don't live in. So, but you know, I saw all this and I was reminded of myself from long ago, from years ago, when I used to make these things, and how much that role has shifted, even though it's the same mission, you know, overall. And what I'm going through now as well, it's becoming more and more physical, more and more involved in the community. And earlier when it began, it was much more detached. It was much more about sort of giving guidance from a distance and online only, which is still part of my mission, of course. But yeah, it's just interesting, and we have to be open. We have to be, especially with Aries, the sign of Aries is about taking leaps into something unknown. It's like breaking your comfort zone and taking a risk and having the drive and the energy, and to be the pioneer, to be the first one to do something, basically. And we don't always feel prepared, and Aries is about that. It's not always knowing before taking action, every single, you know, having everything single detail sorted out. It's just knowing what's right, and it moves through you in your body as truth, and you just know that it's right, and you stay open to being guided about how to go about it, and that guidance basically comes through. So this is a great time for us to be accelerating and moving into the next level of our ascension, the next level of our self-mastery. And if you would like some help with that, check out my services. You know, I think I'm pretty good at what I do when it comes to these things of moving into the next level. If you are a little shy about working personally, like, you know, through Zoom, where it's live, then I have courses which are also have lots of videos, have lots of exercises. They're very creative as well. Check them out. So yeah, please do consider donating or ordering a service from me. It will go directly to helping these cats, and I will keep making these videos, other videos, or adding clips to my videos to keep you updated on what's happening with these cats, where that money is going as well. So if somebody donates, you know, they'll get to know how it was used, and I'll be sending clips, videos of the cats and their progress and things like that. So I think pretty much I've said everything that I wanted to say. We are moving into a different physical mission. How our spiritual mission looks in the physical is changing, and so be open to that with these eclipses, and be open to the guidance that, you know, the messages that are coming through other people, whether they are triggering for you or whether they are in a more helpful way. The other thing that's also happening for me is this new level of love, you know, and I've been the one who's quite good at saying no when I don't want to do something. But lately, I've been observing that for the people that I love, you know, if I don't agree with something that they're doing, or how I feel treated by them, it's not always necessary to voice that. Like, you do a lot through your energy, and they may not always be ready to hear that, you know. So sometimes it's okay to create that soft space as well, where they just feel like they can still express themselves even if they are not being 100% balanced. So of course it's not forever. If that continues to happen, you know, you have to put your foot down. But sometimes, you know, when we are open and we allow, spirit will guide us. That sometimes it's fine. Everybody doesn't need to understand you, you know, 100%, even though you thought you were close to them, and you are close to them. But it's really, the journey on this planet is about sharing love and coming into a deeper state of love. Sometimes that means saying no and allowing others to become more independent, along with yourself. And sometimes that means this more soft form of love, which is accepting yourself and others as they are and allowing them to heal, to come into themselves. And especially during eclipse season, you know, everybody is a bit triggered. So let me know if any of this resonates with you, if you've been going through this, if the eclipse has been intense, what you've been going through. And do check out my website, enlightenmentcourses.com, for more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I'll be able to make more videos very soon.